The story of Jarul is yet to be uncovered in the story of One Piece, but we are here to speculate on what could have happened to the legendary Jarul throughout his life. And hang on tight until the end of the video because I've got some very big information for you guys today. So hang on tight and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's go. So Jarul is a legendary character of One Piece. He's been known for ages already, and we already know that, he's been there when Big Mom was there. He's been there 100 years ago. He's been there 200 years ago. He's been there 300 years ago, and he's even been there 400 years ago, even because now Jarl is around like 400 and something years old, like 402 or 403. So Jarl is pretty old, and the fact that a giant could age that much in the story of One Piece is just absolutely amazing. So Jarl was born pretty much 404 years ago or something like that, and since the beginning he had one of his best buddies or his best friend or something, and his best friend was Jarl. So they were known as Jarl and Jarul, and everywhere they would go, they would do them. Basically, they were together in all of their adventures from the get-go. And Jarl and Jarul basically went through Elbaf. They went through maybe the realm of the dead first. They went crazy. They fought some crazy monsters. They built up their own strength. They got super strong and everything. Like, they pretty much maybe did it all on Elbaf. They went from branch to branch. They went to different clans. They went to different different giants on Elbaf and everything. And after they discovered everything that they needed to discover, and they got maybe some of the prophecies that were on Elbaf as well, now was the time for them to actually set sail outside of Elbaf. And that's what they wanted to probably go and explore the world and everything. And they thought of becoming the giant pirate crew, basically. And for that, they literally had to gather a bunch of people to make a crew of giants. So once they did that, and once they got themselves a group of people that will sail with them and everything, they called themselves the giant pirate crew and everything, and they set on sail outside of Elbaf. And from that day, from the day they set sail on those seas, they were known as the strongest beings on the seas of One Piece. Basically, they were considered as the strongest and the most ruthless people you could counter on the seas, basically. And in their heyday, they will go against other pirates, they will go against marines, they will go against the world government, they will go against everything. But at the same time, they gathered probably some treasures left and right. They also got stronger by fighting different foes left and right. So basically, their strength level is pretty high. Not to the same level as King Harold, for example, but coming very close to the same powers, like maybe no Conqueror's Haki, but armament Haki and observation Haki probably to the extreme or something like that. And to not just forget about their physical bodies and how strong their bodies are, since first they're giants and everything. That's one thing, And so in their heyday, no one could stop them. They could go anywhere and no one could stop them. But at the same time, they came close to learning about some truth about the world of One Piece. And they learned that the Gale giants have been imprisoned by somebody or by something. So they knew at that point that yes, they were the strongest characters maybe on the seas, but not in the whole One Piece world. Like, they knew that there was a very dark and shadowy figure somewhere that's crawling out of darkness, basically, and that will even go against the whole Gale company, the Gale giants, basically, that probably had the Pluton blueprints and everything, and maybe that knows how to function it and everything. and was able to actually get a hold of them and everything. And from what we saw on Punk Hazard, we already know kind of where the Galley Giants are, you know? We know where they got imprisoned, and we know that they are literally in ice, and hopefully they're still alive so that they can still give us the information that we need, you know? And after they discovered maybe some of the craziest information about the world of One Piece and everything, they were like, you know what, we're getting old. We're just gonna retire and come back home to Elbaf, you know? And so years later, after they went out to the sea to discover and to live adventures and everything, well, now it was time for them to actually retire. And that's, for example, the moment when we see Big Mom when she was 6 years old. They were already like 350 years old or around that time, you know, like they were already old, and I'm talking about Jarl and Jarul when they retired in Elbaf a long time ago. So to give you a proper timeline of when exactly did they retire from the pirate life, I don't know pretty much, but I am guessing Big Mom's age, so 70 years old or something like that. And now, since they retired and everything, now it was the time for other people, other giants to show up and keep on going with a new crew, because now it was the crew of Dorian Broggy that became the captains of the giant pirate crew. And Dorian Broggy were also very strong giants from the get-go, and Dorian Broggy same as Jarl and Jarl. They had they lived together their childhood, they grew up together, they fought together, they fought against people together, like they grew up strong, and they grew up on Elbaf going and exploring everything that they could explore. And after that, they did the same thing that Jarl and Jarl did, meaning they got out and they wanted to explore, go throughout adventures and everything, and maybe see what they can discover out there for themselves. But then, in that very tragic moment, when Big Mom showed up to Elbaf and when she was absolutely nuts about those Semalas and she wanted that and she was in her devilish mode or whatever, well, one of the two giants had to die, and it was Jarl. And basically, all it took at this time was to literally get picked up by Big Mom and literally whoosh on the ground. And that literally killed Jarl, and that tells you how fragile the giants become when they grow old. Because like literally one fall and he was done. So Jarl, thank God he was still alive, and Jarl was probably stronger than Jarl, because Jarl was at least able to take a sword to the head and he's still alive from it, and at the same time, he pretended to have amnesia for all these years, and even to us, the readers, we believed that he had amnesia, but he was actually just playing. He was not saying the truth because he was holding his tongue because of what Loki told him to do, basically. Loki told him to shut your mouth, you don't say shit. And Jarl accepted, and he didn't say nothing from that day. And very much respect to the legendary Jarl, I'm telling you. And since King Harold died, he could not forget about what happened and who was the true target of the giants nowadays. Because from that day, since Imu and Gunko and Summers and Killingham showed up to Elbaf, and after everything that he knows, everything that he went through, literally you could see Jarl as the biggest general of Elbaf in the shadows of Elbaf, that's protecting Elbaf from the shadows, and he's ready to do everything because he is the one who knows. He is the oldest giant on Elbaf, and he experienced it all, so he knows it all. And he knows that now the world government is the enemy of the giants, and that's what he said. That's why he said that from that day all of the giants are going against the world government and everything because of what they did to Elbaf, basically, and what they did to King Harold. And now he's qualifying the responsibles of the world government as the devils of this world. And that's the example we got in some of the latest chapters of One Piece, with all of the powers of Gunko, with all the powers of Saint Summers and his perviness, and all the powers of Killingham at the same time too. So you see, that the legendary Jarul has gone through a lot of experiences in his life, and he's learned also a lot. And he also gave us the prophecy that the sun god will appear on a snowy day where it's going to be snowing, there's going to be thunder everywhere, and he's going to appear on a big creature. And I emphasize on the word big creature, because what we got is basically Luffy showing up on top of Loki and discovering that Loki is one of those big ass Game of Thrones dragons, you know. And from that note, Jarul was right, and he is literally here to command all of the giants now into war with the devils, and we are here for it. And the legendary Jarul, respect for him. And on that note, guys, don't forget to comment down below the legendary Jarul. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and your boy is gonna see you on the next one. Peace.